I'll make a video out of it, I guess.
What's he gonna do?
Spray foam my tanks.
Oh.
That room got really cold last year. It was the first year we really had a hard time keeping it warm enough above freezing.
Believe it or not, I am sitting in the living room of the homestead of Doug and Stacy, one of my biggest fans, and also I'm a fan, one of their biggest fans. And I just thought we would have just a little sit-down interview. Today's my last day. I have spent the most wonderful 2 days of learning from them about homesteading life and a lot of other stuff, really.
Yeah, we talked about all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. Life stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube stuff. We've talked about everything. I have a few questions for Doug and Stacy, and so here goes. So, you know, you kind of conquered this whole off-grid homestead.
That's how we do it. We conquer.
Yeah. And so I'm just wondering what drives you, you know? What drives you to keep building another building or thinking ahead, the next project or whatever? You kind of got what you need here to function.
Yeah, that was the plan, is to get as much in place as we can while we're still able.
Aging in place is our big time motto here, so trying to get everything done so that it's easy for us and we just maintain it, and then we don't have to really worry about it as much.
I don't have to build it. So.
Yeah. So it's you really have to think about the seasons and how many projects you can feasibly get done.
Yeah.
It gets too cold,
He's like
right?
Superman this year. He did a lot of projects, way too many projects, I think, because you have to watch out when you do things and you live this type of lifestyle that you don't want to get burnt out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and a lot of people do. And so
I do too.
Yeah, he does. And so if he is
I'll go heavy and then I'll just back off and that'll be it.
He'll
And then I'll come back at it.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't foresee, and I'm sure you've talked about this on your many videos on your channel. By the way, of course, you want to go to OffGrid with Doug and Stacy on YouTube and click that subscribe button. But you didn't have any idea about your whole YouTube presence and all of that part of your life when you started this.
We had no clue. YouTube was just a baby. We've been here 7 years, almost 8. And so a friend of ours just said, you guys should put videos on YouTube. It could probably help some people, because he was digging what we were doing, and that's what we did. So.
And you just did you find an immediate response? I know you really work at it.
I mean, it was slow and steady wins the race. I mean, we kept putting videos up and it just kept resonating, and where we're at now.
Yeah, just like in anything you do in life.
Nothing's
Consistency.
instant. Yeah.
Consistency is the key in anything.
And patience.
Yeah, patience and consistency, right.
And at what point did you start going out and meeting the public in person, like in conferences and things?
Probably last year was our most.
Big year?
Yeah.
Wow. And did you see that, would you say that's why your viewership just doubled in a year? Or do you think that helped?
I don't know if it did. I think those are the people that are watching us already, so they want to show up to the events, they want to meet us, talk to us, ask us questions face to face, pinch us, see if we're real, all that stuff.
They're real, believe me.
But all parts of communicating with the public, right, is going to help drive the channel up, I guess, so.
Yeah.
We just hope that what we do helps people with some ideas, even if they're in an apartment or a condo or wherever they're at. They could eat a little healthier, take a little more control over their life, and then take it from there on however they feel comfortable.
Well, that's
Just
another
keep growing, grow your own food, know where it's coming from, the health benefits. I mean, it's fresh, it's right there. It hasn't traveled across the country, hundreds or thousands of miles to get to you.
A lot of my viewers are urban gardeners, and how can they feel more like a homestead homie living in an urban setting with either in a condo or an apartment?
So one of our big mantras is
do what you can where you are.
That's right. So no matter, just plant, put a seed in the ground, grow a tomato plant, grow a pepper plant.
Little pots, herbs on your counter. I mean, anything starts somewhere.
A lot of people say that chickens are like the gateway drug into homesteading. So for you guys, if you just start one little plant, that might actually catapult you into like moving to another place where you can grow more food because you just love it so much.
Yeah, container gardens, I mean, It's wonderful. Or even if you have a smaller yard, my favorite medium, my best way to grow things are in my raised beds. I love the raised beds, so I have lots of raised beds. But if you just have a small place, just have a raised bed and you can grow lots with companion planting, putting lots of different things together that like to be together. There's a really good book that I love. Yeah, it's called Carrots Love Tomatoes. It's a very good book about companion planning.
Uh-huh.
It's good book. So I highly recommend that one.
Also, think outside the box.
Tomatoes love carrots.
Yeah, there's probably a community garden 2 blocks from your house that you never even thought about before that you could actually go to. Use their boxes, their soil, everything. All you do is show up, you plant your seeds, you harvest it, you take care of it, and you could do that. And if you don't have one, try to find a spot that maybe you could start one, and then your whole community could benefit from it.
Yeah,
And then
or
I'm
a school garden.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We have one of our subscribers, and they live in Hawaii, and they have, I think she was saying, like 1,300 square feet.
like the whole lot, not just the house.
It's everything. And they call it their Zarm.
Yeah.
It's like a zoo farm, and they raise even quail for the eggs,
Yeah.
and they grow everything. They just have everything in their little area, and it works.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm wondering if you've done a 10 things you have to know if you want to go off-grid video. Have you done something like that?
We might have. We've probably talked about some things that you need to know. We might have done 5 things.
Well, I remember one time you said that first you get your piece of property,
Yeah.
and then you got to figure out your water situation,
Yeah.
and go from there.
Yeah, so first thing, no matter what, check your zoning regulations wherever you want to have a house. You want to double check that, make sure that you can do what you want to do, build what you want to build. Is there inspections? What kind of inspections? All that stuff. And then, you take it from there and start your dream. I mean, that's how we did it 7 years ago, and now we're fully engulfed and living our dream.
That's awesome. So what is the next step here at your off-grid homestead?
Well, we're in the process right now of building a root cellar, so we got to tidy that up a little bit, and then we'll be putting a building on top of that. It's like a workshop, and then we're also going to have a learning center here so folks can come, kind of like you did, a little more intense though, and learn about butchering a chicken and setting up seeds and rainwater catchment and just things that they would need to know to have a homestead or to live off grid, and have hands-on training.
Yeah, preserving your food, all these different things. Even like we have composting toilet, just kind of educating people how to live very self-sufficiently.
Yeah, yesterday they said, Doug said, do you want to butcher a chicken today? And I thought about it.
She had to think about it.
I thought about it, and before I could really decide, Stacy said, I don't want to do that today.
There's too much other stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
But Kaye was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
she was ready
She's
to-
like, I might be a player on that. So Stacy had to shut her down.
Because I'm doing that in a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
I'll wait. Yeah.
So how do you decide on the division of labor on a homestead?
We have a very traditional homestead. I do all the heavy stuff and all building and working and digging and this and that, and she cooks the food and grows the garden.
And I do the heavy stuff too, because
She
you
helps
have
here and
feed
there.
bag, like I make my own chicken feed, and
sure.
I mean,
Anything
I
over
carry,
50 pounds, I got it.
Yeah, 5-gallon buckets of water. I mean, we're hauling it. I mean, I'm tough.
That's
but,
right.
But we do. He's very
I
right. We
don't
are
think
very
I was
traditional.
demeaning my wife's contribution.
I've gotten in very much better shape functionally,
For sure.
and I was always in good shape my whole life. I've always, exercised and taken good care of myself. But working this way,
Yeah.
functionally, whether it be like wood and carrying
water,
buckets, all this kind of stuff.
tea
It's
bags,
really, made my very functionally strong.
Yeah.
At what point did the idea of homesteading come to you? Was this something you fantasized about over time, or did some event happen in your lives that triggered it?
I mean, we didn't even really know what homesteading was. I mean, we just basically said we were sick of city life. We're going to buy some land and grow food and just do our thing, and this is where we're at.
Well, and a lot of it, I wasn't feeling very well.
Yeah.
I had taken a class on holistic lifestyle coaching, and I thought I was eating healthy, and then come to find out that, when you talk about the oils that you use and the food that you're eating and all this kind of stuff, and then how you're supposed to have fermented food into your diet. So that was probably, 11 years ago? I think about 11 years ago. So that really was the catapult that really pushed us over. It's like, I would really love to raise my own animals, know how I'm taking care of my meat. I would like to know what I'm growing, what I'm putting into it, and all that. And so that was a big thing to get us, to push us to what we're doing.
Well, also you had kids, and once they got out of the roost,
That was the only regret we have, is that we didn't do it sooner.
Because they would have
I was gonna
loved
ask
it.
you about that.
They would have loved it. Yeah, kids. It would.
The grandkids are loving it, but we wish we would have done it sooner with the kids, and they could have learned these skills, you know, that we're relearning, and we could have taught them that.
Right.
They're learning watching our videos, and you know, they dig what we're doing, but it would have been cool to have it as a family unit.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
I could have got 3 times the work done.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask Stacy or Doug, how often do you wash your clothes? And how do you wash your clothes?
We
We have a video about it, and there's the link right there.
Okay, send me that.
You have to post it in there.
Yeah,
I will.
for sure. But basically, how often we wash the clothes? Anywhere from once a week. Sometimes I go twice a week, or not twice a week, twice.
Once every 2 weeks.
Once a week or once every 2 weeks.
But we have a ringer washer that we use. We use a generator we plug in. The Amish that we live by, they have those ringer washers, and they hook motors up to them. So it's pretty much the same thing if we use a generator or a motor, and it just powers itself, and we ringer wash and hang out in the air to dry, and that's how we roll.
And then
She used
when
to go
it's
down
cold-
to the pond and beat it on rocks and stuff, and I upgraded her to a
Yeah, we upgraded to that. But yeah, I do go to the laundromat once in a while if
Yeah.
I need to, if it's really cold, or maybe I have tons of bedding and lots of big things.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we do have, if I have just a couple things, I have one of those breathable washers. It looks like a big plunger
Yeah.
that you can put in a bucket. So if I just have a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
things, you can kind of wash it, because nothing's better than clothes on the line. It smells amazing,
Right.
and I'm so spoiled because I just love that.
Right. We grew up with a ringer washer, and my mother hung everything on the clothesline, until it got really cold, and it was awesome. It was
Even
awesome.
when they're cold,
the
they get
smell of
crisp.
those sheets, it just, there's just
nothing
like
better
it.
than that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Even your clothes, I just love it when you take them off and you just smell them. And even when you put them in your drawer and you take them out, there's nothing better than that smell.
To be a homesteader, you have to have a bit of an adventurous spirit, I would say. But it's also important to have community,
Yes.
right? I mean, just going off and doing something in the middle of nowhere by yourself, and you don't have any community, that could be not only
That's for the really adventurous.
that
So
could
if
be
you want to do this,
isolating.
you want to be adventurous, but you still want to have community.
Right.
Yeah, because as independent as we are, we still lean on our community for certain things.
Right, like your clothes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
barter things with other people. So
Yeah.
if you want something that they have, then you can barter something that maybe they want that we have.
Right.
And it works out good. And then that way you don't trade actual currency, but you're trading your services. If maybe it's homemade butter for our homemade bread, or maybe they need a ride somewhere, or and it all works out.
Yeah.
Chores.
Yeah, everything.
That somebody can come and do chores.
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
how we're able to go to our conferences. We have a family of 7 that stayed here, and they had a great time. They lived in the city. They enjoyed country life while we were gone. And we also have neighbors that come by because we watch their place, and then they watch our place.
Yeah. So it's really important.
It is important.
Oh my gosh. it's
Unless you want to
definitely-
get your property and never leave it and stay right there and do everything yourself.
Because we did,
Sounds fun.
when we first were here, we didn't go anywhere for
5 years.
Yeah. And then we had
Then we started rocketing! So he's just going to foam in the walls and the ceiling and everything, and then it'll be airtight and insulated.
And did
Be able to
everything
heat it
go
with a
frozen
candle.
last year?
Well, we had a busted line and the line that connects the 2 tanks, but it really doesn't freeze. It takes a lot to totally freeze it up because they're so big, 1,500 gallons. But it gets pretty thick. I mean, so, and you don't want your ball valves busted and all that stuff. Then you have a big mess. So.
Yeah.
Well, we had -0.
Oh, it was bad last year. It was really cold. So I just thought, well, I'll just go ahead and pony up and get it insulated,
Yeah.
not have any more problems with it.